This rather lengthy video documents a field trip to Gurnang State Forest, about 35 kilometres south of Oberon Township, to look for endangered southern greater gliders, Pteroides volans, in a 60-hectare tract of remnant native old-growth forest at about 1,300 metres elevation above sea level, embedded in the pine plantation which occupies the vast majority of this and other state forests in the Oberon region. Oberon Citizen Science Network had discovered, using custom do-it-yourself thermal video cameras it has developed, that southern greater gliders were present in this area. As a result of this discovery, we invited Dr Ana Gracanin, one of the leading greater glider researchers in Australia, to give a talk at the Science in Oberon, More Than You Imagine event in Oberon on Saturday the 15th of August, which OCSN organised as part of National Science Week 2026. Ana kindly offered to lead a spotlighting expedition the night before the event. For logistical and safety reasons, only a small number of people directly involved in the Science in Oberon event the next day were invited to participate in the field trip.
Hello.
Hi, Anna.
Yes, it is I, Anna.
Hi,
How's it going?
how are you?
Good.
Hi.
Tim?
Tim, yeah.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yes, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Who do we have here?
I'm Louisa.
Louisa,
Hi, pleased
nice
to meet you.
Al.
Al.
Hi, Johnny.
Johnny.
Blake.
Mike.
Hi, Anna. Yep, I'm Warren. Sorry about
Warren,
that.
that's all good. Lucy.
And Lynn.
Excellent. I have forgotten all your names
And
immediately.
That's it.
But I will learn them throughout the night. So yeah, tonight, awesome. This is so exciting.
I see one already.
Yes, you win. Alrighty, so thanks everyone for coming out tonight. Thanks Tim for organising this. My name is Anna. I am a research fellow at the Australian National University, and I have been studying greater gliders and arboreal marsupials for almost 10 years now. And spotlighting is one of the many key ways that we are able to study them, identify their presence, estimate their density, abundance and distribution and all things like that. So it's a really key ecological tool. So tonight you'll each get a chance to learn more about it if you haven't experienced it before. Where to start? So hands up who's been spotlighting before. Oh, and then hands up who has never been spotlighting before. Oh, yay, this is exciting. And hands up who has seen a greater glider in the wild before. Hands up who has never seen one in the wild before. Yes, this is so exciting.
I've seen any glider.
Any glider ever? Oh, well, tonight it's all about to change. So typically when we go spotlighting as a group, what I'll do is I'll be at the front with another person, and because it wouldn't be good if we were all with extremely bright torches just shining into the canopy, a bit chaotic. So what tends to work is that with everyone with their head torches on, you can focus on walking and placing your feet and not tripping over, because we're going off track tonight. And then the two people at the front are in charge of spotlighting. And with spotlighting, for those who've never been spotlighting, it's a very simple technique. Once I disentangle all this, oh boy. Anyway, you have a torch, there we go, and you hold it by your eyes and you scan the canopy. And as you walk, you take moments to stop, scan the canopy, and what we're looking for is reflective eye shine. So by having the light near your eyes, you're more likely to get that really clear eye shine that suddenly appears out of nowhere. It's kind of the equivalent of when you see a cat or a dog with your high beams on, you just see those eyes reflect back. Very obvious with cats especially. And that's what we're looking for greater gliders and other mammals, is that eye shine. The greater glider gives back a nice warm yellow glow, and because they are a rather sedentary species, they don't move a lot, so when we get to see one, it will just stay there. And the good thing about spotlighting for this animal is that because they are so high up in the canopy, the light that's coming up to them doesn't bother them, doesn't disturb them. It would only really affect them when it's really, really close. as light travels is an equation, 1 over d squared, d for distance, and basically the further light travels, the lower the intensity. And so that's why they stay kind of up there, not really bothered by our presence, not really bothered by the light. On the rare occasion that you see a greater glider really, really low, immediately you'd put the light on the lowest mode or turn it off altogether, because that's the equivalent of like staring into high beams a meter away. So we use the light, doesn't bother them, but when we want to watch an animal for a really long time, we can switch to the red light, and then we're more likely to see more natural behaviours and them moving and interacting and eating leaves, because they kind of just stop for a moment and look down at the lights and the noises from the ground going, huh, what's going on down there? So that's spotlighting, and we can each take a turn being at the front looking for gliders, and yeah, each time we find one we'll stop, take a moment to observe, and as we go please feel free to ask questions about greater gliders. I have many stories to tell and all kinds of fun facts. Be warned, once I start, I won't stop. I'm a bit of a yapper, and especially about the topic of greater gliders. So no matter the question, no matter how big or small, please feel free to ask. Happy to answer anything and anything. And yeah, and in terms of safety for tonight, we're just going to stay as a group, watch where we're going. And when we get back here, I've got some hot water and tea and hot chocolate, so we can have a little sweet treat. And I also brought UV torches so that if anyone comes across any fungi or cool looking lichen, we can look at it under UV and see how much it glows back as well, because that's always fun to do. Yeah, so that's about it. Anything? Cool. So who's my first victim? I mean volunteer. Who has never spotlit before? Yes, would you like to come with me at the front? Okay. You can hold the other spotlight. So you can either choose to hold it and then hold this button on the side goes like that, and the brightness goes up and down. It's not particularly tall, so that should be enough. And I'll adjust the beam. There we go. And if it's more comfortable, you can wear that on your head.
Otherwise, I'm just meant to keep it up.
Yeah, just hold it by your eyes and search.
How do you even know where to start?
That's okay. It's all about giving it a go, and you'll get a feel for it.
There's no kind of trees, habitat, especially something identified.
Yeah, with this technique, they could be anywhere in the canopy. So we know from before in the eucalyptus patch, which is what they eat, they've been sighted before by Tim. So we'll go a little bit more down and then to the right.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, got one. That was easy, we got one.
How do you know that's not another kind of that you know?
Oh, I think just based on its colour, positioning and general size, brush-tailed possums tend to have a much more reddy glow. Mm-hmm. At least that's what my eyes tend to interpret. Yeah. So why don't we go a little bit closer and check it out. What a majestic gentleman. Oh, so refined. Yeah, that's really lovely for our first one.
And do they have a territory?
Yeah, so greater gliders, hold on. We'll just have one light on him so we don't overwhelm him.
You know it's a male or you...
Oh, I just sometimes give them a gender. They're either Garys or Glenders.
Is that his tail hanging off?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they're long tails, generally 50 centimeters long.
Like a rudder?
Yeah, like a rudder.
All right, thanks everyone for coming.
I'll just switch to red light now. See if he. And then if everyone switches off their lights. So if everyone turns off their white lights, there we go. Because at this time of night, what's happening is they've just emerged from their dens. And this is probably one of the more active times of the night for them. They'll emerge out of their hollow and get to their favourite branch spot, do a bit of grooming, a bit of self-cleaning, or they'll be so hungry that they'll immediately launch from tree to tree to get to their favourite food spot and start eating. So in that first hour after sunset, that's when you typically see them move a lot. So by switching over to red light, kind of reduce a little bit of the...
What do they like to eat?
Eucalyptus leaves. Yeah. So they're like koalas, they only eat eucalyptus leaves. And they have this amazing ability to be able to digest one of the most low nutritious, highly toxic leaves on the planet. And that's why they spend most of the night and most of their time just sitting there digesting and just eating slowly, because they don't have a lot of fat reserves, they don't have a lot of energy because of their poor nutritional diet.
And apart from something like a cat that can climb a tree, what other predators would they have?
So the other predators that they have are powerful owls and spotted-tailed quolls. They're the normal native predators, but yeah, cats can be a bit of a concern. They've been found in the scats of dogs and cats. It's unknown if they fed them as carrion or if they actively caught them.
Do they ever come and walk on the ground, or they primarily just stick to the canopy?
Yeah, they stick to the canopy. They have evolved for hundreds of thousands, if not over a million years. Their evolutionary history is all about living up in the canopy. So their paws, they have these like dual thumb kind of strange grippy paws that are so good at climbing. And I've seen them go from one tree to another, and we're so excited, like it's gone to the edge of the canopy. We're like, yes, it's gonna glide, it's gonna be amazing. And then it reaches out and grabs the most saddest, scrappiest little branch you could imagine, and then pulls it over and then just puts its whole body on a branch that's probably only 3 millimeters thick. The branch sags under its weight and it just proceeds to climb up from tree to tree. They really do generally tend to have a preference for moving from connected canopy to connected canopy, just because there is an energy cost of gliding, because yes, gliding is efficient to travel large distances, but when you land at the base of a tree, you have to climb up. So when it's easier to just go from branch to branch, they'll do that. So this guy's in a mostly isolated tree. So if we hung around long enough, there's a chance that it would maybe glide to the nearest tree. But yeah, they all also have variable personalities. So sometimes they're super active and they're just going all over the place, and other times they just sit still and just wait for us to leave before they get active. There's been a few times where I've been waiting, watching, and then I turn my back and I'm like, I give up. And as I'm walking away from like a couple hundred meters away, I hear the thump sound as it's landed on a trunk of a tree. And I was like, ah, of course.
So they're a solitary animal?
Yeah, they spend a lot of their time solitary up in the canopy, but they will share their dens with their often a monogamous partner. And the females will raise their young in the dens, and that will be for over the course of a year and a half that the young will stay with them. Yeah, like they get to a point where after a year they're basically the same size on camera as the parents, and I stopped being able to tell apart the joey from the parents. And then they just hanging around. So there's like a group of 3 or that group of 2 for up to 18 months. And then once the new baby joey starts to kick around, it's believed that generally that previous year's joey is forced to disperse and find its own territory.
So how many babies do they have?
1, but really, really, really rare, they'll have twins. They'll have 2. And I've seen that on camera once, and my colleague did a genetic study and he caught 2 gliders, and then when did the genetic analysis realised, oh my god, they're twins. So super, super rare, but super, super special.
They're moving. If we came back tomorrow, would that glider be there?
Which one, this one?
This one, yeah.
Probably. They typically have really small home ranges, so often, sometimes as little as 0.3 hectares in some of our studies, averaging around 1.5, but they can be large. They can be 2, 3, and sometimes, depending on the habitat, 14 hectares large. But yeah, generally they have pretty small home ranges, so this guy would be here, maybe not in this exact tree, but in this general area, he'd be here tomorrow as well. Alrighty. Let's go find another one. Also, great questions, guys. Like I said, just keep them coming.
We wonder whether they compete for the same hollows with the brush-tailed possum.
Yes, there is a bit of overlap in their hollow preference size. And I have seen once a greater glider, a brush-tailed possum go into a hollow at around 5 a.m. And then about a few minutes later, this greater glider, I got it back to front. Greater glider goes into a hollow. And then a few minutes later, a brush-tailed possum tries to go into that hollow. And I was like, oh shit, something's about to go down. It's going to be this massive fight. Here we go. I'm there with popcorn. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Anyway, there's like these little snarls coming from the hollow. I'm like, oh, poor glider, I hope it's okay. Glider's fine. The brushie's retreating. There's this paw coming out of the hollow going, and the brushie's like, so the brushie runs off, and I felt so bad for the brushie too, because the sun's starting to rise, and you can see the panic in its face as it's like going from tree to tree to tree, trying to find, like it went into a fake hollow, like it wasn't a true hollow. So maybe that was a dispersing individual, maybe just got caught out at the wrong time. There was a bit of competition. The sun's rising. He's panicking, trying to go and find a hollow, but that was surprising because brushies generally are very good at outcompeting. They're large, they're aggressive, so they'll fight for a hollow and kick other animals out. But that was a nice observation to see that a greater glider could hold its ground and kick it out. But yeah, typically we just take a few steps, stop, scan. Take a few more steps, stop and scan.
It's a wonderful night.
It's beautiful.
Cold.
This is beautiful forest too. Yeah, sometimes they will overlap. But the thing is, greater gliders, because they rely on hollow-bearing trees, they rely on older forests, whereas koalas can live in a bit more younger forests because they don't need the hollows. So
Are they very territorial, Anna?
very territorial.
Yeah, right. What sort of range do they have?
So it depends on the habitat quality. If their resources are really stretched, they'll have rather large territories or home ranges. So in like poor quality-ish habitat where there's fewer hollows or there's fewer good feed trees, there's been records of 14 hectare sized home ranges. But typically, for the most part, they're really small. So 1 hectare, 2 hectares. In our recent radio tracking study in Victoria, we had one glider that had home range size of 0.3 hectares. So literally just like 10 trees. Yeah, so it's quite amazing. And the males will fight to defend their territory, and the females too. And I've witnessed some crazy stuff. Oh yeah, good job.
Oh, it's a brushy, I think.
Just a brushy. I want to make a funny video of every ecologist where it's like they just say, oh, it's just a brushy, and then it cuts to the brushy's face and it goes black and white and it's like, hello darkness my old friend. Poor brushies. No, it's great to no, it's great to see all the animals. It's just funny because we always say, ugh, just a brushy. Brushies also deserve a bit of love. They're cool, you know?
Where have you done?
Yeah.
Where is it?
He's a bit obscured by all the veg. He's got nice long big ears, so that's a common brush-tailed possum.
So different species are there?
Yeah, there's the southern bowbook, which is also known as the mountain brush-tailed possum. And then there's all other species up north in Queensland as well.
Yeah.
But the mountain brush-tailed possum can co-occur with the common brush-tailed possum. And the mountain ones that are just like a bit more strong, a bit more grayer, have smaller ears, and typically at higher elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that one called?
Oh yeah, so the mountain brush-tailed possum.
Mountain brush-tail.
Yeah, also known as the southern bowbuck. Yeah.
A brobuck, that's such a cool name.
Yeah, bowbuck.
Brobuck.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think I can see him. He just needs to move and I'll know.
Yes. The right of the laser.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like the brain.
I got it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got it.
All right, everyone seen the brushy? Ready to move on?
That's not the sharpest part of it.
Let's go find the real heroes.
Hello.
So, I'm not wearing my glasses tonight, but that kind of looks hollow to me. And that could be a potential den tree. In there. Oh, hello Lucy, welcome. Having a go at spotlighting? I am. Excellent.
Are they interested in the pine trees at all?
So they have been recorded to eat the cones of them and a little bit like nibbling on them, but it wouldn't be a huge part of their diet. I think it's more they'll use the pine when they're dispersing. So if they're trying to find a new territory, they move through the pine and they have been observed to eat a little bit of the pine, but I don't think it's, you know, there's a reason they're not in the pine forest because they can't live off of it. Had a bit more down?
Yep. Trees are a bit bigger down there.
Oh, excellent. Oh yeah, nice one. Let's check him out. He's got a white belly. Black body, white belly. Nice work. He's moving. He's having a little feed. Yeah, let's see what happens under. Bit of red. Is he having a little feed?
Yeah.
Nice. White belly.
All the ones we've seen here have been basically that colour.
Yeah.
But I noticed that they're, or even your one on your sweatshirt is that sort of pale colour. Do you see them much?
Yeah, they're pretty rare. For the most part, a population is typically between 90 to 95% just made up of the typical black morph with the white belly. Yep. And then the 5% is white or white mottled. And then the very, very rare one is black body, black belly, which I've come across twice only. I've yet to see a pure white one, just like nose to tail, completely pure white. They always have like a little splodge of grey on them. Nom 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 nom.
Are they very selective about the leaves they eat?
Yeah, fairly like quite selective. Like they won't. Not every tree is food. We don't know if if they can work out if a tree is good for eating based on smell or taste or a bit of both, but we know that they preferentially feed on certain trees within, like they have preferences between species, and then within species there's preferences in trees. Right. They vary in how much nitrogen they have, so how much nutrition, and then also they vary in how many of the secondary defense chemicals they have. So eucalyptus leaves, trees produce all kinds of defenses into their leaves, and they're quite, toxic. Oh, he's reaching.
Are they called wings there?
They're called, so the membrane is called patagium. Yeah.
And is the patagium all furry?
Yeah, so it's a very thin layer of fur on the underside of the patagium, so the white part, but on the dorsal side, so the black fur, it's a lot longer. The sad thing is though, the membrane's quite fragile, so if they get tangled in barbed wire, it often means death. If they lose, I think there's like, for gliding species, sometimes they'll lose 5% or 10% of their membrane, and then they just won't be able to glide thereafter. Plus there's risk of infection and things like that, so it's a really hard thing to recover from.
Are they fussy?
Yes, they are. So they have preferences between species, and within species, different individual trees will have different nutritional components, so they have to seek out the best food. Don't know if it's through smell or taste or a bit of both, but they work out what's good to eat. And yeah, you'll often find that they come back to feed from the same tree over and over, and switch it up throughout the year. But every eucalyptus tree that you see in the forest is not necessarily food. Otherwise, if it was, there would be way more gliders and koalas. It's kind of like an evolutionary dance of, oh, I don't want you to eat my leaves, so I'm going to make them toxic. And then gliders and possums and koalas go, well, I'll work out a way to break that down and eat it anyway. Oh yeah.
So see this V tree here?
Mm-hmm.
So then it's just...
Oh,
Oh, he's moving.
Oh, he's on the move. I swear.
See, he's halfway. Yeah. Should I turn mine off now?
Yeah. Well, let's go a little bit closer, hey? Yep. Oh, he's going to a hollow. Oh, that's so exciting. Hee hee hee.
Does that mean there's more of them around? What's exciting about hollow?
Oh, so we know his address now. So finding greater glider hollows is a lot of work. Oh, he's speaking out. So this could just be like a hollow that he's hiding in but doesn't necessarily live in, but it's still important to note this habitat.
Has he gone inside?
Yeah.
He keeps creeping out.
He was a bit shy. If everyone turns off their white light. Can most people see it through binoculars? Is pretty well hidden. Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty. Well, that was cool. That's awesome. Tim, would you like to record the GPS of this potential den tree? Cool. Drop a pin if you can, or I can do that as well. Hold on.
We'll bring a little video camera back.
Yeah. Nice. Or if you get infrared binoculars, you can stake it out. Yeah, it'd be cool to know if that's its den. All right, shall we keep going a little bit this way?
Who's turned to spot now?
Oh yes, who wants the other spotlight? Yeah, the little, like the sound of the bark. I was like, ooh, who's making all that noise?
And does the behaviour change through the different temperatures of summer and...
Yeah, so in summer they're tend to be active a lot earlier because the nights are so much shorter. They have less time to feed, so sometimes you'll see them emerge at sunset in the daylight. And then, oh, that's a nice tree. In winter, they can vary a little bit more in when they leave because they have much longer nights to work with. Are you okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And then during the breeding season, lots more commotion and activity. And over summer, as juveniles disperse and they try to establish their own territory and find their own way, I've witnessed some crazy things where a small male has obviously entered the territory of an adult male and they get into a massive fight. and they are on the branch and they're scratching and snarling and like biting, and then one pushes the other out of the tree. And you think, oh yeah, they're a gliding mammal, they'll just glide, right? They just continue to fight. It's all happening in slow motion. I'm just like, whoa, oh my God, they're falling. And they're fighting mid-air, and they land with a thump on the ground and they continue to fight. And then we were out there like doing genetic research trying to catch them. So they landed at our feet and we were like, oh sweet, okay. And we picked them up and we had to pry the jaws of the bigger male off the younger male because they were in like a absolute death fight. It was crazy.
They're not as cute and furry as they look then.
No. They really are Furbies. And most of the time when I've seen them fight a few times, right at the last second before they hit the ground, they'll let go and they'll glide and parachute up to the opposite ends. But yeah, there was that one time where they just landed with a thunk on the ground and just kept fighting.
Anna was asking about the population size.
Oh, that's a great question. Oh yeah. Minimum viable population size, 60 hectares. I mean, depending on how long they've been isolated for and the home range sizes of these individuals, I think there's a very good chance that it is an effective viable population.
And there might be slight connectivity along the creek because there's native vegetation along the creek.
Yep.
Through to about 2 kilometres or 3 kilometres to a biodiversity conservation area.
Yep.
Which is owned by anti-woodland.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, and the thing is, even though pine's not their habitat, they are known to disperse through pine. Yeah, they will move through it. And we've done genetic research and radio tracking research in the past, my lab group, and they found gliders will move through the pine to find a new home. Sometimes it means they have to move quite far, like the longest journey purported was 7 kilometres. 7 kilometres? Yep.
Oh, okay, but there's another area just behind us over that way.
Yep.
It's about 50 hectares.
Yep.
But it's about a kilometre disconnected.
Oh, I mean, I say only a kilometre. That's a pretty big distance, but that's like, it's not terrible. Okay. So dispersal, we know so little about greater glider dispersal and most glider dispersal. So what triggers and what determines what direction they go into and how they end up where they end up, we still know very little about that, but we know from the handful of cases of dispersal events, they typically move a kilometre.
Right.
So if the glider decides to move in that direction, it's likely to end up in that habitat.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, it'd be really cool to do a genetic study similar to what's been done at Tumut.
Well, we'll study the other areas, see if they're there or not.
Yeah, it'd be so good to know. Like every record is so important, that distribution records, because once you know that there's a glider present in a certain patch of type of habitat, it generally indicates that they're there and there must be a population there. Right. It's very, very rare to find a greater glider in one spot and then it's the only one there. Like the probability of that is pretty low because it would mean that it dispersed there and there were no gliders there. Do you know the history as to why they left it remnant, or they just decided not to turn it into pine?
I don't know. I'll probably know more. The 9 neglect, I think.
I think they've left it.
Yep, just randomly?
Yeah, I just think that they thought, no, we'll just leave this block.
Yep.
Because there's no signs of systematic logging. No. There's the odd tree down, but that's probably firewooders.
Yep.
This block's not zone FMZ1 or 2, is it? No, FMZ is the forestry protection classification. If it's 1 or 2, they won't log ever.
Okay.
But we are in touch with the forestry ecologist, so if you guys come out here, I believe.
Yeah, I know.
And
other state forests sell.
I know, of course you do. Yes.
Shit, and we're coming out here eventually.
Nice.
And can we get it rezoned within Z1 or two?
Potentially. There's no chance they'll ever do anything in here.
No.
It's all zoned as protection.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh yeah, that's it. I think this is still green on our map, so like I don't think it's actually anything in here.
We got a Gigi. Another one. So yeah, a lot of the time when you see greater gliders, they just love to continue what they're doing. There's a lot of sitting. That's cute.
It's a massive tail.
Yeah, it's funny. I have read that somewhere people often describe their tail as growing up to 1 meter long, but I've gone through the data and I've caught maybe 200 gliders now, and every tail is under 55 centimeters. But when we add their body size, it means that from nose to tail they are 100 centimeters. So I think just a little miscommunication of tail length versus whole body length. Yeah. But sometimes from the ground, when you look at their tails, you're like, oh my God, that has to be 1 meter. That thing's crazy. Oh, and it's really cute. So they'll use their tail to help stay warm, and they'll wrap the tail around their face, just like a scarf. And sometimes they'll wrap the tail around their ears, and then wrapped around again twice, and then a third time over their eyes, so only their little nose is poking through. It's just so sweet.
And besides using their tail like a rudder, do they use it to grip at all?
Yeah, so for a long time they were described as having a non-prehensile tail, but I actually had on my live stream that I had for 1.5 years, so it was a family of greater gliders living in a hollow, and 24/7 live footage of their lives inside the hollow. And what we saw was that they would often use their tails to bring in leaves. So they actually carried leaf material into the hollow, and we suspect because what happened was the little Joey would immediately start eating the leaves. So they're bringing in the leaves to help wean the young one off milk and start to get onto the leaves and start to eat solid food. So yeah, they use their tail in that way. And I've also seen in like crazy windstorms. So suddenly out of nowhere, we're in the middle of spotlighting transects and the wind picks up and we've got our eyes on a glider and it's going 5 meters to the left, 5 meters to the right. And it's just like holding on for dear life. And you can like see it like tensed up, holding on, and it's used its tail to wrap around the branch as well to help have a bit more security. Yeah, so their tails are multifunctional. All right, well, this guy's pretty happy. Oh, yay! All right, shall we find one more? Whew.
Good neck muscles.
Yes. Literally.
There's a button to turn it off, it's just on that, going up the back.
their range like habitat range?
So the home ranges are typically small.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So fragment.
looking at around like 1 hectares. And depending on the mating system, it might be predominantly monogamous populations. So it'll be one male and female sharing a territory with their offspring.
So they'd be susceptible to like genetic drift and
Yes, really isolated small fragments that are isolated for a really long time. Yes, and we've studied one really isolated population on the south coast, 7 Mile Beach,
oh yeah, I know that.
and there's evidence of inbreeding there and
Oh yeah, down the side.
some pretty bad. It's like grandpa, granddaughter having
Oh,
offspring
yeah.
kind of inbreeding.
Like the birds over on the island. I can't remember the name of them yet. They were
Yes,
like that as well.
and
That was a good example.
but the interesting thing is because we still don't
Yes,
know enough about like inbreeding and genetic drift and all these processes, because there's crazy case studies of like a founding population of say like I can't remember what it is, like 8 koalas on Kangaroo Island,
Yeah.
and now there's thousands,
Yeah. Okay.
and somehow they're really like low genetic diversity,
Yeah.
but somehow the population's doing well because
Yeah.
thousands of them. It's really interesting, like what microbat? Understanding the thresholds of what some species can tolerate in terms of inbreeding, and how
Yeah.
that over time, well, the males that are born with no testes don't reproduce because
Yeah.
they're that inbred. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well that is like deleted out of the system. So I find it fascinating
Yeah. Genetics is.
because sometimes they'll just go straight up extinct too.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then other times they're just like, oh, well, we can persist with this. It's like, can you? Founding population size of less than 20?
Has there been much done with like artificial habitats or?
Yeah, nest box.
boxes and stuff?
Yeah, I've been involved in a lot of nest box research, and we continue to do more nest box research. It's really interesting how like in some habitats they use them heaps and others they don't. And it's to do most likely with the local availability of hollows and the density of the gliders themselves. There's a few issues with them. You know, they're not a great solution. They're just a band-aid.
Yeah.
It takes hundreds of years for hollows to form, but
Yeah.
if a nest box only lasts 10 or 20 years,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
you're committed to like a really expensive replacement program where it's like, okay, we could just leave nature and just leave the hollows and
Yeah.
it'll be all fine. And now there's,
That old growth forest that takes a long time.
oh, so long. And there's more work going into artificially carved hollows as well.
I've
Which,
seen a few ecologists do that, where they go up and they hold
Yeah.
them out with the.
yeah, it's really cool. And I want to be optimistic and think that they're going to work really, really well. But we've come across a big limitation is that greater gliders require, because they're quite large,
Yep.
they need large hollows.
Yeah. Okay.
And then carving into a tree, there's a general rule of thumb that you only should carve out 1/3 of the diameter of the trunk out,
Yeah.
because if you carve too much out, it could snap. So if greater gliders need a minimum 30 centimetre deep hollow going into the trunk, that means the diameter needs to be 90 centimetres.
Yep.
And greater gliders prefer to have hollows that are higher up in the tree.
Yep.
So if a tree is 90 centimetres wide at say 15 metres high, it means that it's a really, really, really big tree.
Yeah.
And therefore if it's that big, it's probably already got hollows.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a bit of a conundrum. Like the method's so far looking really good for smaller species where you can carve small hollows into any kind of size tree almost.
Yeah.
But for the larger species, like, and then you look at powerful owls and things like that,
Yeah.
they need huge hollows. And so to find a tree that doesn't have hollows
Yeah.
of that size is pretty hard. And we're also finding the trees are pretty quick to seal over the wound. So depending on the design of the hollow, they'll form this thing called wound wood to seal off the hole. And in some, and then in some situations, it happens as quickly as 2 years. So they are lasting less than a nest box, which is wild, but trees are just so tough and so resilient, and they'll just be like, oh, I've got a wound. Need a heal.
Have you ever seen them in the snow?
Greater gliders?
Yeah, because it snowed on, when was it? Monday? Yeah. So it was snowing here.
That is my dream.
Is it?
Because in Talaganda, where we have nest boxes, sometimes it will snow. Woohoo! And I just have this dream of getting a photo of a greater glider with snow on its nest box. So close!
Be good, and what's the...
Probably wouldn't have been a lot of snow taking place in the county.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it was
they've...
a fairly light fall, but it was definitely snowing.
That's so cool.
And what's the highest elevation that you found in it?
Oh, good question. Just trying to think of my study areas. I want to say something like 1,000 something.
Because we're at 1,300 here.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh yeah, look at the cow. Where's that?
What'd you find?
Yeah.
Oh, cutie patootie!
Yeah, definitely.
They're the most closely related cousin to the greater glider.
Oh.
They're of the same family group.
They're a vegetarian as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unlike the brushtail, which is
A bit more
eclectic.
opportunistic.
Yeah, we've got both ringtails and brushtails at home.
Yeah. Ringtail possums are crazy. They to get a second round of like nutrition out of the limited nutrition that they're eating. They, what was it? I can't remember the name of it, but
Coprophagy.
coprophagy. There we go. They'll eat their own poo a second time to get the nutrients. Koalas do something similar, but where it's the joeys are eating the pap, so the soft poo, to get the microbiome.
But the ringtails don't use hollows, do they?
No, they can make drays, which is really cool. Oh, another microbat. So ringtail possums are a bit more robust in that way, in that they can use both hollows and make their own homes, which is really cool. Should we cut to the road and then walk back? Am I imagining that there's a road there, or have we just diverged?
At this point, after about an hour of spotlighting, the party returned to the vehicles for tea and hot chocolate. The air temperature was then about 0 degrees Celsius. In total, we covered about 2 hectares of the 60-hectare tract of remnant native vegetation in this location, and spotted 5 greater gliders, 2 brushtail possums, and 1 ringtail possum. Oberon Citizen Science Network will continue to survey greater gliders in this location, as well as in similar tracts of remnant old-growth native vegetation scattered throughout the pine plantation areas in Gurnang, Vulcan, and Mount David State Forests, south of Oberon. If you'd like to support our work, please visit our website. We are extremely grateful to Dr Ana Gracanin for offering to lead this field trip and for so freely sharing her knowledge of and enthusiasm for the endangered southern greater glider with us all.